A shocking revelation in a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience has caused both fans and critics to reevaluate their preconceived notions of celebrity partnerships.
Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are fighting a lot of battles on a lot of different fronts lately and likely spent their holiday crafting motions to try to curtail the amount of legal action the disgraced music mogul is facing. But one of the strangest cases involves a Michigan prison inmate who claims that Combs raped him in the 90s. A judge had initially granted a massive $100 million judgment in his favor, but after that was overturned, Derek Cardello Smith is now pushing forward with his lawsuit, and he says he plans to call pop icon Jennifer Lopez as a witness.
The discussions delved deeply into the entwined lives of some of the most well-known figures in the field and went beyond simple topics like politics, science, and pop culture.
P. Diddy thing sounds like just complete unchecked depravity. Like, I don't even think he was gay. He was just fucking guys.
But
maybe he's gay, but
I
it seems
think
like he's just
you have to be a little
depraved.
gay. Because then he would just
Oh
be
yeah, for sure. At
women.
least for like 10 minutes.
he's at least bi.
Well, I mean, it might just be whatever drugs they're taking. Like, I don't understand it. When that whole, like, I think I had peripherally heard that P. Diddy had big parties, but I never heard of freak-offs or any, I never heard of that stuff until pretty recently. Like, post-pandemic.
At its core, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan attacked a narrative that transcends red carpet glitz and catchy tunes.
From New York.
Of course.
25, 26 years old. I didn't know anything. And I was like, this is so strange. It was just strange to me to be in these like Hollywood parties with this MTV executive who's taking me around and showing me all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She was just kind of like introduce you, like, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
This is what everybody does. They go out to the clubs, and it was just...
Yeah. Yeah, the scary thing about LA was that you thought it was all over by 2 o'clock, because they literally pull your drinks at 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go to someone's house.
Right.
And they continue till dawn,
Yeah.
So that was dangerous too.
Yeah.
So I was happy that I got away from that.
Fortunately, I avoided all that.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some fun to be had, no question about it, but
I'm sure
a lot of it was kind of dark too.
At its core, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan attacked a narrative that transcends red carpet glitz and catchy tunes.
I'm sure if you go to Diddy's house, it probably feels real weird. Probably feels weird walking around that house. Probably like, what happened here?
Yeah.
I bet there's some memories in that house.
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people on the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously, it's like insane.
Publicly, openly, all in.
Yes, it's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend, and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Did you see the Babylon Bees take on it? Did you see the Babylon Bees?
Babylon Bees awesome, but
oh my God, they're so on fire because the left can't say anything. Well, the Onion, it's been crippled.
Well, the problem is that like the
find that post.
The woke ideology makes like humor illegal.
Yes.
So when like there's so many humor no-fly zones,
right?
You can't make fun of anything.
Yeah. The Babylon Bee had a thing about Kamala Harris. Diddy's ex-girlfriend urges Americans to trust her judgment. Yeah. By the way, you get to see how bad an actress she is, too.
During the podcast, Elon Musk, the controversial CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, didn't hold back while criticizing Lopez for failing to alert the public about Diddy's alleged wrongdoings. The music industry may have been all too familiar with the mogul's actions, but decided to ignore them.
If she's going to be warning people, why did she never warn anyone about Diddy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so strange to watch play out. It seems like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where whether he was doing it himself. Conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah.
In addition to shocking listeners, his speech made us reflect on the past and made us wonder what mysteries lie behind the surface of prosperity and glitz.
I mean, and the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids, basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be. They
had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams was talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
In addition to shocking listeners, his speech made us reflect on the past and made us wonder what mysteries lie behind the surface of prosperity and glitz.
Just as the coverage started to subside, West flipped the script on his X page. So his page has since been removed, and I'll get more on that in a moment, but screenshots of his tweets show he posted in all caps, "Free Puff." He then went on to post or tweet, "All these celebrity N-words and B-words is scared. Y'all will watch our brother rot and never say S." He went on to post, "I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." He also tweeted posted that slavery is a choice, which of course got some backlash from other X users. But West seemed to double down as his rant continued with, "What you all gonna do? Cancel my sneaker deal? Cancel my record deal? Freeze my accounts? F y'all N-words. Slavery is a choice. I am speaking my mind now. I ain't editing S again ever." And he later tweeted, "This man gave his life to us. This is my idol. This is my hero," seemingly referencing Sean Combs.
In addition to shocking listeners, his speech made us reflect on the past and made us wonder what mysteries lie behind the surface of prosperity and glitz.
Quote, defendant Combs sexually assaulted a 17-year-old minor male while at a popular nightclub in New York City. This case seeks compensatory and punitive damages for that sexual assault. The assault occurred in Soho, New York, after Doe was drugged and taken to a private area of a nightclub by Combs' associates. The conduct described herein is shockingly typical of how defendant Sean Combs conducted himself for many years. Many individuals and entities facilitated and conspired with this abhorrent conduct. Sean Combs believed he was above the law. He is not. Now, quite the way to start a lawsuit, right? Now, I will tell you, though, it is very characteristic of the lawsuits that have been filed by the attorney behind this one. I'm talking about Tony Busby, that Texas attorney who apparently represents several Combs accusers.
In addition to shocking listeners, his speech made us reflect on the past and made us wonder what mysteries lie behind the surface of prosperity and glitz.
Having launched a successful career as a dancer and then later an actor, J-Lo, however, had her eyes set on becoming a singer, and instead of taking the usual path into the music industry, J-Lo decided to take a different approach, choosing instead to align herself with Combs. Combs decided he would take from other artists, employ dirty underhanded tactics, and use his power, money, and prominence in the music industry to make J-Lo's dreams of becoming a successful singer come true. So Combs, along with another powerful music executive, made sure that J-Lo became a star. And in return, Sean Combs received J-Lo's loyalty, support, and most importantly, her silence.
She may not completely understand the seriousness of what has been disclosed, according to some, while others contend that her silence is a premeditated attempt to disassociate herself from a controversy that could harm her hard-earned reputation.
Her opponent, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way. He has consistently worked to divide us. At Madison Square Garden, he reminded us who he really is and how he really feels. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans that were offended that day. Okay? It was every Latino in this country. It was humanity and anyone of decent character.
She may not completely understand the seriousness of what has been disclosed, according to some, while others contend that her silence is a premeditated attempt to disassociate herself from a controversy that could harm her hard-earned reputation.
If you're attending P. Diddy's parties, I think Ashton Kutcher in one feed was saying, yeah, his parties. Oh, Let me tell you about them. Let me think about them. They're wild. Guilty by association. Nobody wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole if you're a celebrity.
And to be clear, not guilty in a court of law, like
No,
because
of
you
course
can go to
not.
a party and not commit a crime.
Right.
You just were around it. And the question was it an open secret?
But you're guilty by association
Right.
in the court of public opinion,
Correct.
right? If it comes out that you were attending his parties, everyone's naturally going to think, what were you doing at that party? What was your involvement? Were you involved in the freak-offs? Did you engage in it? It would be a PR nightmare.
She may not completely understand the seriousness of what has been disclosed, according to some, while others contend that her silence is a premeditated attempt to disassociate herself from a controversy that could harm her hard-earned reputation.
I would advise her to speak with the SDNY. I would say
you
if
would.
you had any information, talk to them and provide it to them, because the most important thing is justice for the people that were wronged in the situation. And then I would say follow their lead. And the prosecutors at the SDNY may tell her, look, we don't want you to make any statements in the media at all about anything you observed, what happened with P. Diddy, your relationship, because again, that would be cannon fodder for cross-examination. Stay away from that. And when we go to trial, make your statement on the stand.
Musk's response was swift and caustic, pointing out that it should raise red flags that Lopez, who was formerly so close to Diddy, opted to keep quiet about his alleged wrongdoing.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when you know, because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these, and you're like, what the fuck? How much of this is real?
There's a lot more real than I think people realize.
Musk's response was swift and caustic, pointing out that it should raise red flags that Lopez, who was formerly so close to Diddy, opted to keep quiet about his alleged wrongdoing.
The BBC tried to hide that guy was one of the worst, like basically child rapists of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. And looked like one.
He looked like one.
That's
like,
what's
honestly,
crazy.
if you had a poster of does this guy look like a
Look, the creepiest
like
fucking
an
looking guy.
evil child rapist? That 100%.
He made it to the grave. Like,
Yes.
got away with it.
Yes.
Got away with it till he died. They hid it from people until he died.
Musk's response was swift and caustic, pointing out that it should raise red flags that Lopez, who was formerly so close to Diddy, opted to keep quiet about his alleged wrongdoing.
It's horrific, but it's also hilarious that it was like the big secret that P. Diddy would make a bunch of these guys suck his dick and do weird shit. Oh, do you think the government does it? Well, P. Diddy does it.
Homes in LA and Miami raided by federal agents.
Dude, the conspiracies of P. Diddy are like, you know, that as above, so below, that like magical shit the rocket scientists say when they jerk off and look in each other's eyes.
What?
Fox made references to being poisoned by Diddy, according to several witnesses, although many people quickly brushed this off as a joke.
Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization during live shows Eyewitness. Rob, if you got a clip, play this clip. He's not really saying it here. When I watch this, he's not saying it.
It's because PBD. This is just them saying what we know. But the clip that I sent Rob is of what was his name, Robbie? Big Homie CC.
Good guy, Big Homie CC.
Yeah, because so Pat, you know what's going on. So let me
read the story and I'll come to you because I thought it was a video. There.
Yeah.
During the tapings of his upcoming Netflix special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx reportedly stated that he was responsible for what happened to him, and Fox is the one who called the FBI on Comb.
Fox made references to being poisoned by Diddy, according to several witnesses, although many people quickly brushed this off as a joke.
Jamie Foxx took multiple shots at his old friend P. Diddy during his new Netflix stand-up special, What Happened Was.
The internet said that Puffy tried to kill me. That's what the internet was saying. I know what you're thinking. Did he? Hell no, nigga. I left them parties early. I was out by 9. If something don't look right, it's slippery in here.
Many people were excited to hear what Jamie Foxx would reveal about the Diddy saga on stage, but some are equally skeptical as to why he would not call out Diddy early.
Even while Rogan briefly considered the notion, he eventually acknowledged that the reality might be much more banal, just an inane comment taken out of context.
Jamie Foxx just recently said that P. Diddy poisoned him,
Whoa!
and that's why he got that stroke.
I've heard that.
He talked about it on stage.
He said it?
He said it.
He got poisoned?
He said it.
He goes, I didn't have a heart attack because of the vaccine. It was Diddy shutting me up.
See if we can find that, because he said it on stage.
Diddy was poisoning people?
Bro,
Whoa.
I think there was some crazy shit going on.
Like Cosby shit? Like drugging?
Diddy
To
wasn't
see-
even that
I
big.
think
It was
murders.
could do it.
There's alleged murder. A bunch of people that got pneumonia. A bunch of convenient people that died of pneumonia. Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization while filming Netflix special. Holy shit!
Jamie
He
Foxx
talked
has
about
a
it on
Netflix
his
special.
Netflix special.
Even as Rogan entertained the possibility for a moment.
However, these whispers add another layer to the problem, making us wonder if any comment made by a celebrity can truly be taken at face value in a society where everything they say is scrutinized.
Look at this. The audience members had varying accounts of the comedian's words. Two of them claimed that Fox said Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, that he's the one who called the FBI on Diddy, who's currently in prison awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. A source close to Diddy insisted to Daily Mail that there is no truth to Sean Combs putting Jamie Foxx in the hospital.
There's no chance it was a joke.
I mean, yeah, it's a joke, but joke based on truth or not truth? Truth.
It is possible. That's
I
totally
trust the Daily
possible.
Mail.
That's totally possible, but it's also possible he was explaining while he wound up going to hospital, and he hasn't talked about it since. He never talked about it.
In this high-stakes situation, fame is a fickle friend. One moment, someone is praised for their success, innovation, and style, and the next, they are embroiled in scandals that could destroy their legacy. For Diddy, the stakes have never been higher because of the impending trial in 2025, which means that every word, association, and previous transgression is now being scrutinized relentlessly.
You tell me now, is there evidence against any major celebrities that you have, and is there anyone that you can name at this moment?
I'm not going to name anybody right now, but I do have evidence.
Have you had a chance to actually see any videos or text messages or other kind of correspondence that kind of corroborate these stories?
All of the above, yes. And not for all 120 clients. I asked for corroboration. What texts, video, pictures, give me dates, venues, give me witnesses. And, we do that, we go through that process. And that's what we're...
The issue now is around structural flaws that permit influential people to function unchallenged for an excessive amount of time, rather than just guilt or innocence.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Combs is set to appear in court in May on federal sex trafficking charges. The news came out of a Thursday court hearing. Combs pleaded not guilty last month to charges he abused and exploited multiple victims, some of the allegations dating back years. CBS News New York's Alice Gaynor has more from outside the courthouse.
Sean Diddy Combs' 6 children and his mother sat in the second row of the gallery. When the 54-year-old entered the courtroom, he was wearing a wrinkled tan shirt and matching pants. He smiled and waved at them, a seemingly more upbeat attitude. The judge, newly assigned to the case after the previous judge recused himself, set a May 5th, 2025 trial date. Prosecutors have until December 31st to turn over discovery to the defense. They said over the course of 3 searches of an airport and Combs' LA and Miami residences, they seized 96 electronic devices and several more during and after his arrest.
All of these connections are connected by a deep sense of betrayal. The organizations that previously praised these celebrities now seem to be participants in a system where image and influence frequently take precedence over responsibility.
I'm a victim. I'm a product, I should say, of these systems that we all survive in, which is, this sort of capitalist-driven, corporatocracy kind of driven way of merchandising and commercializing every thought and fear and moment that we have in our lives, and never giving us a chance to slow down.
Elon Musk's BL more than just thought-provoking sound bites. Ling's criticism and Joe Rogan's unvarnished remarks are a demand for openness in a field that profits from secrecy and selective silence.
Real dirt. All I got is a hallway beat up on video.
Right.
But I need, Bieber's crying, J-Lo's nervous.
If I had to guess, this is what I would say. There's a lot, apparently, of famous people involved in this, which means there's a lot of accusers, and there's a lot of money that people won't get if these people go down.
Right.
So if you're a lawyer, and you're, involved in this whole thing, the move would be like, we could go public with this and this would be the end. That is not our interest.
Yeah.
Our interest is a settlement. And then next thing you know,
keep making money off of somebody.
yeah, someone
Or
who's really good at basketball, or fucking someone
Maybe.
who's like
Maybe.
makes
It's all
good
maybe,
songs.
though. It's all maybe.
Someone,
Everyone left the
whatever it
parties
is.
early every time.
It'll be like Epstein, though. It'll be the same thing. It'll be like nobody ever gets in trouble.
Joe Rogan's shocking revelation and Elon Musk's scathing remarks as the scandal's layers deepen daily. They expose a network of political endorsements, personal connections, and systematic corruption that calls into question everything we believe to be true about Hollywood power and the cost of fame.
Prosecutor, though, the guy who said there's some very famous names and you will be stunned at what you'll see.
What, on Diddy or Epstein?
Diddy.
Yeah.
My people
So they-
will not let those names come out.
But here's the thing:
No.
if the videos exists, you don't think that somehow or another this guy's got it in the prosecutor's
Epstein's
office?
never did.
But no one talked about the names, and there was a video, and it was going to come out. It was like they kept quiet about all of it. They never released the names. They never said there was video. No one confirmed anything. It was all just.
The answers to these issues might potentially completely change the landscape of celebrity accountability as the trial date draws near and more information becomes available.
When you think about illegal immigration, do you know how many kids are missing? How many
like missing in what? Like,
kids that came across the border that are
I
unaccounted
heard
for?
I mean, I saw a number on like 300,000 or something like that.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Let's say it's only 10% of that.
Sure.
That's still insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. There's thousands and tens of thousands of kids that have been trafficked potentially. I mean, when you know that like sex trafficking and child trafficking is a real thing in the world, it's real.
Yeah.
So if you know that, this whole thing is fucking disgusting and terrifying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And people are just turning a blind eye to it because their ideology, the left-wing ideology, supports this idea that immigration is overall good and that you have to be a compassionate person to let these people in.
As the trial date approaches and more details emerge,
The story ultimately comes back to the same question. Why did Jennifer Lopez, whose relationship with Diddy is now the focus of intense controversy, choose to remain silent when the stakes were so high? Is Joe Rogan truly revealing the hidden truths behind Diddy's dark legacy and Joe's silence? Or could Elon Musk's explosive take be the catalyst for Hollywood's most explosive scandal yet?
But yeah, so yesterday, Diddy filed a lawsuit against NBC Universal, Peacock, and Amble LLC for defamation or defamatory statements. So he's saying that when they did that whole Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy documentary that we talked about in here, that a lot of the claims and the things that they were accusing him of were completely false. And he's saying he wants $100 million in damages for severe harm to his reputation, economic harm, and the defamatory statements.
Why just NBC? It's been about 5 or 6 documentaries that have come out.
I have no idea.
On top of podcasts and YouTube pages, like it's so many people with stories. Like why you just aiming at NBC?
In early 2000s, when J-Lo and Combs were an item, J-Lo adapted to Combs' partying lifestyle, and this went on to cause disastrous results 4 days prior to the start of the new millennium. J-Lo and Combs were arrested and taken into custody in New York, not too far from where Combs is currently locked up today. This event went on to create headline after headline, and despite Combs being charged with very serious crimes, J-Lo remained loyal and by his side. J-Lo has stayed silent all these years about the events that transpired that night, and a lot of mystery still remains today about what really happened. These same silent tactics are being employed by J-Lo in present day whenever she's confronted or asked in any way about Diddy, their relationship, what she saw, and what she knows.
This is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible.
To remain up to date on every surprising update, click the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications. You won't want to miss a second of the truth that is about to be revealed.